Hello, everybody. This is Strictly Strange. Of course, I'm Glenda.
I'm Casey.
And tonight we're on here to talk about Michael Jackson. What I want to talk about him was these four guys, they broke into Neverland Ranch. And some might say this is weird stuff. Some of you might not say it's weird stuff. I don't know. Some of you might have it in your house already, or some of you might want it in your house. But anyways, I think it's pretty strange that he had this kind of stuff in his house. I don't understand. But anyways, I just want to, tell you a little story about what happened. Okay, so these four guys broke into Neverland Ranch, and they were looking for stuff to see what was left in the abandoned mansion because it had been abandoned for a decade. And they were looking for stuff to see if they could find stuff because Michael Jackson had such a tormented life. And, it really hurts me, some of the stuff that he had to go through. He was abused by his dad. He even spoke on an interview that they had with him that he was abused by his dad. His dad used to beat him. He said he became a very good runner, a fast runner, because his dad would come after him to beat him, and a lot of the times he would outrun him. But the times that he caught him, it was really bad. He would push him into a window, he would hit him, all this kind of stuff. That he would do to him. And not only that, he would call him names like Big Nose or Wide Nose or whatever. And he had acne when he was younger, and so he'd call him Pimple Face and Puss Face and all this stuff. So Michael Jackson's childhood was nowhere near normal. One, he was a very popular entertainer, him and his brothers. And so he couldn't go out in public without a swarm of people around him. And he always had bodyguards around him to protect him because of the swarm of girls that were after him to try to get a hold of him. So he had a very sheltered or guarded childhood anyways. He didn't have a regular childhood like a normal child. And then, to top it all off, he had the abuse that he had to face with his dad and whatever. His dad also would use him as an example in front of his brothers. If he messed up a step, he would whip him in front of his brothers and use him as an example. He would also whip him or berate him if he messed up a word in a song or anything like that. So I think that Michael, in my opinion, had Neverland Ranch because it represented a childhood that he never had. And I think his fascination with children was because he wanted to show them a life that he never had. And I really think that's what it was. At the ranch, you had amusement park rides. You had a train that went around the ranch. You also had exotic animals. You had a zoo. In other words, that had tigers and gorillas, giraffes, and I know he had a monkey. I don't know what else was in the zoo. He also had a pool that they could go in, and he had a grill beside it, and he would grill for the kids that were there. They had cotton candy machines and ice cone machines and all this kind of stuff, and they could come there and do anything that they wanted to do. And he named it the Neverland Ranch after Peter Pan. So that goes to show you that he was reliving a childhood that he never had right there. But anyways, when they broke into the house, they did find some really bizarre things. They found there was like unusual art hanging on the wall when you came in the entrance of the house. And it was a large piece depicting Michael himself leading a very long line of children toward what looks to be Neverland Ranch. The sun is out, balloons were floating through the air, and everyone's smiling and happy. And I think that's really what kind of childhood he wanted that he never had. They also found weird magazines that were in there. There was like strange magazines, like redecorated magazines and demonic statues. I don't understand this at all, because if he had all those children in his house, was this meant to be seen by children? I don't, understand that at all. He had here, he was up against those sexual assault charges with children. They were trying to say he was a pedophile, which I'm not here to discuss that. Some people might believe he is, some might not say he is. I'm not here to discuss that at all. But those were the allegations, the accusations that were made against him. But I'm sure that this door knocker didn't help his case. He had a door knocker with 2 children kissing. And it was a passionate kiss. As you could see from the picture, it's a passionate kiss. One kid has their head turned. I just think that's a strange choice for a door decoration. He also had statues of children were all around the property. The kids had athletic accessories, toys, gadgets, instruments, and they seemed to be having a great time together and all that kind of stuff. He also had child mannequins that he had collected, and they were all posed in strange ways all around the ranch. These child mannequins that were dressed and posed in all these weird positions all around the ranch. I think that's weird. Now, I will say I think that's weird. He had life masks. I don't know if I think this is really weird or not, but I mean, some people might, I don't know. But they had these, he had these masks made from his own face, cast from his own face, but he's got his face in all these different weird poses. And I mean, when you look at them, they are quite kind of scary, I think. The estimate on the masks, though, were over $600,000 each. For each mask, $600,000. Now, I don't know if they ever sold them or what they did with them, but I'm just saying, they're a little weird to me. The child mannequin thing, I think that's weird. He also had a life-size cowboy that was a kid, dressed up as a cowboy clutching a teddy bear. And I believe, if I'm correct, that a fan bought that at his estate sale for the house, and I think he or she paid a little over $1,000 for it, if I'm correct. There was, other things, in the house, like he had that oxygen chamber or whatever it was, and he bought that thinking that he could remain young. He says that he never slept in it, that was just something that tabloids started, but I've seen a picture of him laying in it, but how do I know if he slept in it or not? You know what I'm saying? But he also claimed at first that he didn't have any plastic surgery to his face, and then he admitted that he said he only had 2 things done to his face. In the same interview that he said that he had nothing done to his face, later on he admitted that he had 2 things done to his face, to his nose. He had 2 operations on his nose to make it narrow and small. So, I mean, I don't quite believe this, and the reason I don't believe this is because if you see earlier pictures of Michael Jackson, he looks completely different, older, than he did when he was 10, 11, 12. I mean, completely different. There is no resemblance from his childhood face to his face before he passed away. He also said that he never looked in a mirror, that he didn't like his face, so he never looked in a mirror. I mean, he really had a thing with his face. He said things like he never laid a hand on his children. He would correct them in other ways, but he never laid a hand on his children. He also had a big painting of Macaulay Culkin hanging on his wall. You know, just, I don't know, things that most people wouldn't have in their house. But I feel sad at the same time because I think he suffered so much abuse and then the fame on top of it that he just lived out his fantasy in his house with the children in a perfect world, everybody happy and all this kind of stuff. And I will say that I grew up on Michael Jackson. He was a few years older than me. But I used to hear the Jackson 5 on the radio all the time, and then Michael on the radio all the time. So I grew up in that era listening to his music. I will say he was a very gifted singer, a very gifted songwriter, dancer, things like that. About his personal life, I'm not going to really say anything about the man other than if the stuff is true that they found, which we have the pictures of, and it's truly in Michael Jackson's house, then yes, I do think it's strange. I think it's strange that a grown man is going to have child mannequins all over his house in different poses. I think it's strange to have a ranch with an amusement park and a train and exotic animals and all this stuff that would pertain to children. I just find that strange. That's all. I mean, you might not. You might think it's okay. Leave your opinions, your comments, whatever, below. I pray that you like the video, subscribe to our channel because it helps us out a lot. We're really trying to make this work. People complain to us about the camera being shaky and all this kind of stuff. Well, we don't make any money from doing this, so we don't have the best equipment like these YouTubers have that are making, that have millions of followers and all this kind of stuff. So anyways, like I asked, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, whatever. We're still running the contest. If we get up to 300 subscribers, everybody's name will be put in a thing and we will pull it and you will get Sally the Haunted Doll will be shipped to you. If we don't reach 300 subscribers in the next 2 weeks, then we're not going to do it. But anyway, that's all for now. I hope you enjoy this video. And remember, it's okay to be strictly strange. See you next time. Big hugs. God bless.